Who wins when the God of Thunder faces the King of Olympus? Zeus versus Thor, an epic showdown of gods like you've never seen before. To all my amazing viewers, thank you for your constant love and support. Your likes, comments, and shares fuel the energy behind every video we create. If you enjoyed this battle, don't forget to hit that like button, share your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe to join this growing community of mythology and hero fans. Your engagement means the world to me. Let's keep building this epic journey together. The clash between Zeus, the King of Olympus, and Thor, the God of Thunder, was not merely a contest of strength but the collision of two legends, a meeting of storm and fury that the cosmos itself seemed to anticipate. Their paths to this fateful encounter were as monumental as the battle itself, forged by trials, triumphs, and the burdens of their divine legacies. Zeus, the wielder of the Master Bolt, reigned supreme over Olympus, having carved his dominion from the chaos of the Titanomachy. Thor, the hammer-wielding protector of Asgard, had defended his realm countless times against giants, beasts, and cosmic threats, earning his place as the pride of the Norse pantheon. Both gods were paragons of power, symbols of hope and awe in their respective realms. And yet, the question burned in the hearts of gods and mortals alike: which of these thunder gods was the mightiest? The seeds of their confrontation were sown during a grand feast in Olympus.
Are you just watching?
Subscribe, please.
Zeus presided over the gathering, his aura a constant reminder of his supremacy. The hall was a testament to his power, its marble walls inscribed with depictions of his victories, its ceiling shimmering with the light of an artificial sky. Yet, even within this sanctuary of glory, whispers of a rival god from the north began to take root. Stories of Thor's deeds had reached Olympus, tales of his victories against frost giants, his unbreakable hammer Mjolnir, and the storms he wielded as extensions of his will. Zeus, ever the proud sovereign, initially dismissed these tales as the idle boasts of lesser beings. But as the stories persisted, murmured by gods and demigods alike, they began to stir a spark of unease deep within him. One evening, after a particularly vivid recounting of Thor's exploits, Zeus decided he could tolerate no more. Summoning his eagle, a creature of pure lightning, he dictated a message. It was a challenge, unambiguous in its intent. Thor was to meet him on Mount Olympus, where they would settle the matter of supremacy once and for all. Zeus's thunderous voice resonated through the halls as the eagle took flight, carrying the challenge to Asgard. Though he outwardly appeared calm, Zeus felt a rare thrill of anticipation. He had faced countless adversaries in his eons of rule, but few had inspired the kind of curiosity and wariness that Thor now did. Far in the north, Asgard's golden halls were alive with celebration. Thor had returned victorious from Jotunheim, having bested an ancient frost giant that had threatened the balance of the 9 realms. As the Asgardians feasted, their revelry was interrupted by the arrival of Zeus's eagle. The creature descended with an electric crackle, its presence silencing the hall. Odin himself rose to receive the message, his single eye narrowing as he read the challenge aloud. A hush fell over the gathering, broken only by the steady hum of Mjolnir as Thor gripped it tightly. "I accept," Thor declared, his voice cutting through the tension. His words were met with a roar of approval from the warriors of Asgard, but Odin remained silent, his expression grim. When the noise subsided, Odin approached his son. "Zeus is not to be taken lightly," he warned, his voice low but firm. "He is a king forged in the fires of rebellion and conquest, a god who wields the power of the primordial storm. This is not a fight of pride, it is a test of your wisdom as much as your strength." Thor nodded, though his resolve was unshaken. He was determined not just to prove himself but to uphold the honor of Asgard. With his father's reluctant blessing, Thor set out, the Bifrost illuminating the sky as it carried him toward his destiny. The journey to Olympus was fraught with trials. Thor's first challenge came as he crossed the outer reaches of Olympus's influence, where the sky itself seemed to rebel against his presence. Cyclonic storms, infused with Zeus's divine energy, sought to bar his way, their winds howling with an almost sentient rage. But Thor, undeterred, summoned his own storm, Mjolnir spinning with ferocity as it tore through the tempest. Each clash of thunder echoed like a prelude to the greater battle ahead. As he drew closer to Mount Olympus, Thor encountered emissaries of the Greek pantheon. Hermes, the cunning messenger, appeared in a blur of motion, weaving illusions meant to confuse and mislead the Norse god. Thor, guided by instincts honed in countless battles, saw through the deception, dispersing the illusions with a single strike of Mjolnir. Not long after, Ares, the god of war, confronted him, leading an army of spectral soldiers conjured from the memories of ancient battles. Ares's booming laughter filled the air as his soldiers surrounded Thor, their ethereal forms flickering with malevolent energy. But Thor, unfazed, charged into their midst, his hammer a blur of lightning and steel. With each swing, he scattered the phantoms, their cries dissipating into the wind. Ares himself joined the fray, his strength and ferocity a match for any mortal warrior. Yet, even the god of war could not withstand the unrelenting might of the Thunderer. With a final, decisive blow, Thor sent Ares sprawling, leaving the god of war to watch in stunned silence as the Norse god continued his ascent. When Thor finally reached the summit of Mount Olympus, he found Zeus waiting. The Olympian king stood at the center of a vast plateau, his form crackling with divine energy. His master bolt, a weapon that embodied the essence of the storm, pulsed with a light that seemed to challenge the very sun. Surrounding them were the gods of Olympus, who watched from a distance, their expressions a mix of awe and apprehension. Thor stepped forward, his grip on Mjolnir tightening as he met Zeus's gaze. "You are bold to come here, Asgardian," Zeus said, his voice a deep rumble that carried across the mountain. "And you are brave to issue this challenge," Thor replied, his tone steady and unyielding. "Let us settle this, not with words, but with deeds." Zeus struck first, hurling a lightning bolt with such force that it split the sky. Thor raised Mjolnir, deflecting the attack in a brilliant display of sparks. The impact shook the mountain, sending tremors through the earth. The battle that followed was nothing short of cataclysmic. Zeus and Thor unleashed their full power, their strikes creating shockwaves that reverberated through the heavens. Lightning danced across the sky, illuminating the battlefield in a blinding display of raw energy. Each clash of hammer and bolt was a symphony of destruction, a testament to the immense power wielded by the two gods. Despite their differences, Zeus and Thor proved to be evenly matched. Zeus fought with the precision and cunning of a seasoned ruler, his attacks calculated and relentless. Thor, in contrast, was a force of nature, his raw power and unyielding spirit driving him forward even in the face of overwhelming odds. The gods of Olympus watched in stunned silence, their usual rivalries and petty squabbles forgotten in the face of such an awe-inspiring spectacle. As the battle raged on, the landscape around them began to change. The ground cracked and splintered, molten lava seeping through the fissures. The air grew heavy with the scent of ozone and ash, the storm clouds above roiling with an almost sentient fury. Zeus, sensing an opportunity, summoned the Aegis, his shield of divine power, and unleashed a concentrated blast of lightning. The attack struck with such force that it created a massive crater, sending Thor sprawling. For a moment, it seemed as though Zeus had gained the upper hand. But Thor, battered yet unbroken, rose to his feet. Summoning the full power of Asgard's storms, he channeled his energy into Mjolnir, the hammer glowing with an intensity that rivaled the stars. With a mighty roar, he hurled Mjolnir at Zeus, the hammer cutting through the air like a comet. Zeus raised the Aegis to block the attack, but the sheer force of the blow shattered the shield, sending Zeus staggering backward. Before the Olympian king could recover, Thor closed the distance, delivering a crushing strike that brought Zeus to his knees. The battlefield fell silent, the storm clouds parting to reveal a sky painted with the hues of dawn. Zeus, his pride bruised but his spirit unbroken, looked up at Thor. For a moment, neither god spoke. Then, in a gesture that spoke volumes, Thor extended his hand. Zeus hesitated, the weight of his defeat heavy upon him, before accepting the gesture. "You are mighty, Asgardian," Zeus said, his voice tinged with both respect and resignation. "And you, Olympian," Thor replied, "are worthy of your legend." The gods of Olympus and Asgard, who had gathered to witness the battle, erupted into cheers. Though the clash had been fierce, it had not sown discord but fostered a new understanding between the two pantheons. Thor returned to Asgard, hailed as a hero, though the experience had left him humbled. Zeus ascended Mount Olympus, his authority reaffirmed but his perspective forever changed. In the days that followed, the tale of their battle spread across the realms, immortalizing the event in the annals of history. Yet, amidst the celebration, a shadow loomed. Zeus and Odin met in secret, their conversation heavy with foreboding. They spoke not of the battle as an end but as a warning, a prelude to a greater conflict that threatened to engulf not just Olympus and Asgard but all of creation. As they parted, the two kings knew that the storm was far from over. It had only just begun.